Chapter 1. I'm in the towel aisle at Nichols Depot when I hear the shots. 2 pops, followed by a chorus of screams.
I may have been just a little bit excited to interview Gabra Zackman, who performs the narration of Elise Sutton in the audiobook of What Remains.
Hi! Yay!
Should authors be involved in the audiobook performance?
But I definitely think you should have choice, right? Like you should have choice of who you want to voice your work, and you should absolutely get to say that works for me, that's in line with what I thought, and that doesn't. I feel very, very strongly about that.
How do you approach performing different voices?
It depends really. Am I working with a director? Am I not? Has the author had input, which they often do? Have they not? Am I working with perhaps an engineer who might give me opinion, but maybe not necessarily the director? Does the producer, what have they said? What do I intuitively feel? Like these are all the pieces of this.
How do you approach crafting the voices for a thriller?
Like, especially in a thriller, you don't want to tip anyone up to anything. And so in a way, no one should actually have a really distinct voice. They all have to have a similarly non-placeable sort of voice, but also we can imagine that they're evil, right? Because you want to do what the author has written.
How do you approach performing different voices?
When I started, all of the women sounded like this, and all the men. It was horrible. It was tragically awful that actually it is the narrator, whether that's first person or third person, they're the most important character. That's the character. And then everyone else's voice comes into the story in whatever sort of you're telling. And I think.
Do you read the book before performing?
When I was younger and I didn't do that, I wound up in situations where you get to the end of a book and it says something like, his Italian accent growing stronger now that he was drunk, right? And then you, oh no! So yes, for the most part, yes, you have to. And
tell us about Love Bites Originals.
I'm looking at this picture of this.
You're looking at the stuff that I've written.
Oh, what's that?
So my friend Emily Wuzeller and I started this production company called Love Bites Originals, where we're writing short form romance and erotica. It's some funny stuff. It's a funny multicast audio drama with some of my favorite people in the industry, and crazy proud of it.
What was it like performing What Remains?
But we don't often get the experience of being so fully pulled into a story and a book as I felt like my director and I were pulled into yours. It was deep and it was fun and it was fascinating and it twisted our minds around. So you don't always get that experience, and I'm really grateful that I did with your book.
Oh.
Run. The thought, the urge is powerful. And yet my body responds to a different call. To the tall man pleading for his life, to the others in the back of the store who might be next. My head clears. My fingers close around my gun and release the safety. Suddenly, I know what's inside me. What has been revealed by these mere minutes, crashing over the order I've created, the family I've fought for and loved with every cell in my body. I take aim at the back of his head, and I feel my finger squeeze. And God help me, I pull the trigger and watch him fall. And my life is forever changed.